Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me today for this practice on focusing on the quads and hips. We will not be using any props today, and let's get right into it. So we're actually going to start laying down on our backs. And you're going to thread that left foot underneath the right leg, and then let that left knee fall to the floor. And holding on to that left foot or toes if able to with your right hand, and then let that left arm just fall out to the side. Taking some nice slow deep breaths here. And we want to disengage the muscles. So notice if that quad or the glute wants to fire up and that left leg, really guiding it to soften. We'll take about 10 breaths here. One more breath here. Big breath in through the nose. Imagine you're able to send that breath right into all of the muscles and fibers of that left quad. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Bringing that left arm back in, bringing your left foot to your mat, and we'll just switch right over to the other side. So threading that right leg underneath the left leg, holding on to the right foot with that left hand, letting that right knee fall to the mat and letting your right arm open out to the side. Unclenching, ungripping through your whole body here. So even checking in with your jaw, the facial muscles, the shoulders. And then of course through that right quad, the hip, the glutes. One more breath here. Bringing that right arm back in, right foot to the mat. And now this time, widen your feet the width of your mat and let the knees be nice and wide. And then we're going to let the legs fall over to the right and holding here. Your right hand can come to your belly. Maybe that left arm comes out to the side, or bring it all the way back behind you for a nice full left side body stretch. Focusing on unclenching that left glute, deactivating the quad. Breathing in and out through your nose. One more breath here. And start bringing that left knee up, bringing that left arm back into the body. Both knees are up, and then we're just going to let them fall right over to the left. Left hand stays on the belly, finding that placement for your right arm, which feels good for you. Taking one more breath here. Bringing the right hand to the belly also, both knees up, and now just rocking the legs side to side. Perfect. Walk the knees and feet in towards one another. We're going to make our way onto our belly, so just rolling over to one side and coming on down to your belly. Good. We'll take a quad stretch here. So bringing your left forearm in front of you, reaching that right hand back for your right foot, and then lowering your head down, letting your forehead rest on that forearm. Give a little bend, if possible, into that right elbow, and then let that right shoulder just be heavy to the floor. And making sure that that right heel is aligned over the glute. Pressing your pubic bone to your mat and tucking the tailbone down slightly. You'll feel a little additional stretch there. And then releasing that right foot, slowly lowering it down. Stacking your right hand on top of the left, lowering your forehead down, and just shimmy your hips side to side. And now making our way to the left leg, so right forearms in front, reaching that left hand back, and then letting the head rest on that forearm. Letting that left shoulder be heavy to the earth. Pressing down through the pubic bone, tucking the tailbone. And last breath here. Releasing that left leg down. Stacking the left hand on top of the right. Lowering the head down, shimmying your hips side to side. And then bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, we'll press ourselves up and back into a child's pose. So widening your knees, bringing the big toes into touch. Send those hips all the way back to the heels, reaching the arms forward, lowering your head down, letting your chest and heart melt to the earth. Breathing into your belly, to your back. And now making your way into tabletop pose. And from our tabletop, we'll come into a low lunge. So we're going to bring that right foot up in between the hands. Kind of wiggle it forward as you send the hips forward, finding where that right knee can be stacked over that ankle. And holding here, fingertips to your mat. Drawing the shoulders back. Keep letting the hips sink even heavier and deeper towards the floor. Taking one more breath here. And we're going to send that right leg back into our tabletop. And then bringing that left foot up in between the hands. Low lunge on this side. One more breath here. Making your way back into your tabletop. And then from here, just shifting the legs over to one side, coming into a seated position. Let's have the left leg in front, right foot's going to come back behind you, coming into deer pose. So you can have that right heel to that right glute. And then we're going to come into a twist over to the left and doing an internal rotation with that right hip. So getting into that right quad. Just pausing here, breathing here. Unclenching that right glute. And coming out of this twist, extending that left leg right out in front of you, and maybe bringing that right heel a little closer to the glute. Bringing the hands out in front, walking yourself into a forward fold here. You may feel this more in the hamstring, but the quad is getting a little bit of a stretch as well. Taking a big cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, fill up your belly, fill up your back. Open mouth, exhale. Walking the upper body back up and taking a little counter pose, bringing the hands back behind you and letting the upper body fall back. And bringing your upper body back up, and we will switch to the other side. So your right shin is going to be in front, left foot's going to come back behind you for your deer on this side. Good. And then coming into your twist over to the right. Internally rotating that left hip. And coming out of your twist and reaching that right leg out in front of you. Good. And walking the hands forward, coming into forward fold here. Cleansing breath, breathing into the belly, into your back. Bringing the upper body back up, coming into that counter pose, bringing the hands back behind you, letting the upper body fall back, draw the shoulders back. And then bringing the upper body back up, shifting over to that right hip, swing that left leg out in front, give the legs a little releasing shake here. And then coming into an easy seated pose to close our practice, letting the hands rest on the knees, on the thighs, sitting up nice and tall, closing the eyes, taking a cleansing breath. Just taking a moment to give gratitude for you, taking this time for you and your body. And I hope this practice served your quads, hips, body, and mind well. Bringing the palms of the hands together. Namaste. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me today. If you enjoyed this practice, give it a like, let me know, leave me a comment, and I will link some other practices I have that focus on hips and quads for you. See you on your mat.